Yo, what is going on YouTube? This is your boy Dan, aka aDrive, bringing you guys week 1 of the UCL. The St. Louis Rampardos are taking on the Tucson Terrakions and the KingNappy here to kick off our UCL season. If you guys are hyped, show your love with that like button down below and head smash, of course, for your Rampardos right here, guys. We do have a question of the day before we get too far. Who do you think is going to be the MVP or the best Pokemon on our team this season for the Rampardos? Let me know in the comment section below. Definitely check out the entire draft breakdown that I did. Don't forget the team builder as well. And if you want to grab your St. Louis Rampardos shirts, they are available in the description below. One of the last thing I want to mention here before I connect with Nappy is that we are actually playing this about a week early, roughly a week early, just because I do have my wedding and my honeymoon coming up. So I didn't have the most time to plan or prep, but I didn't want to take a forfeit either. I'd rather just battle the match. So big shout out to Nappy for being awesome and battling me a little bit earlier. He didn't have to do that, but he's a stand-up guy. So I really appreciate that. So hopefully you guys enjoy this match, and we're gonna get right into it, man. I want to pick up where we left off last season and hopefully go for a championship here in the UCL. But either way, just gonna try to have some fun and see what happens. So I'm gonna connect with Nappy, and I'll see you guys in a second. All right, guys, we are connected with the KingNappy, of course. Very interested to see what team he brings. I think a lot of it, I think I nailed. I think the Gardevoir, I think the Thundurus, the Rotom, the Empoleon, the Chesnaught. I really feel pretty decent about those. Not sure about his 6th. He might have a few little differences there, but it's going to be interesting to see whether he sticks with his top tier Pokemon or whether he tries to dip down to some of his lower tier Pokemon. I will say this first turn is going to be very important. This lead matchup is very important. I need to get my Stealth Rocks up. This whole team is designed around Sandrush, Excadrill, and kind of being able to take advantage of the sand and Stealth Rocks to whittle his team down. So I really got to get those rocks up. That's one of my priorities. But I have to also understand that I can't necessarily lead with T-Tar to just get the rocks up if he has a lot of Pokemon that I suspect to be a good lead against T-Tar, because I need T-Tar to get the rocks up and stay alive so it can set sand later. So I don't want to get, like, the sand initially doesn't matter to me. It's the sand that I want late game with the Stealth Rock. So it's going to be interesting how we start things off here. But I'm curious to see what team he brought. Let's see here. He is going to bring the Gallade, brings the Dragonite, does not bring the Rotom, but this is all information that's very important. So let me see here. He does bring the Dragonite. Let me make a note of that. We'll get Dragonite on the screen. Does not bring the Rotom, but instead brings the Gallade, which is fine. I do have plenty of things that I think can handle the Gallade relatively well. We do have to be careful for it. Nevertheless, it's probably a good answer to Mega Venusaur and stuff, but let me just make a note here. He brings the Gallade. And of course brings the Dragonite. Everything else I did predict properly. So here's the thing. I really want to lead with my Tyranitar. I want to get those Stealth Rocks up as early as possible. On his end, he could lead with that Empoleon. He could lead with the Thundurus. He could lead with a lot of different things. But I really got to get my rocks up. So that's been in my head for the longest time here, is to get those rocks up. So that is, I think, what I'm going to do. I could lead Ditto to scout out a set here and then kind of make my decisions from there. That would be a very interesting decision, because I could Stealth Rocks on the Empoleon. I could do a lot of things. Let me think. What is his likely lead? I got to get those rocks up, man. That's been my priority here. I really need to, because I got to weaken. I got to get rid of that multi-scale, and I have to get rid of... I got to break that multi-scale on the Dragonite, and I've got to... hurt that Thundurus, because 25% off the Thundurus, 25% off the Dragonite from entry, but the biggest thing is that multi-scale. So we are going to lead with Tyranitar. If he leads with Empoleon, I'm fine. If he leads with Thundurus, I should be okay. If he leads with Dragonite, I'm good. If he leads with Gallade, a little bit scary, but Tyranitar doesn't match up that great against his team. I'm hoping I can just get my rocks up, though. So let's see what he is going to lead with here. I have multiple switches to most of his Pokemon, so I should be all right. That Gallade could be a little problematic, but I think we can work around it, and I can scout out some of his sets. So he's going to lead with Pearl here, which is his Dragonite. That is actually fine with me. This gives me an opportunity to simply set up my Stealth Rocks. Now, I do just want to take a quick look here at Dragonite's set. We will break multi-scale on Dragonite as well from the the sand, obviously. So Dragonite, what fighting moves is Dragonite going to get? He is going to get Brick Break. He does get Focus Blast and Brick Break, Power Up Punch, Rock Smash. So Focus Punch, number of different things, Superpower as well. Let me do a quick calc here on Dragonite. Potentially going for a big hit here. Potentially going for like a superpower or something like that. Can I take it? I cannot take a big hit from this thing. So I've got to make a decision here. I've likely got to switch out here on the first turn. I don't anticipate a dragon type move, so I can go into Earhart here. I expect a fighting type move more than anything. So I think I'm going to make a very interesting play here. I think I'm going to go into my Earhart, and I'm going to get that Intimidate off, and I'm going to also hopefully take the fighting type move. Now, if he goes for a dragon move here, I am going to lose my Salamence on the first turn of the match, and that is a huge risk, but I'm willing to take that risk because Dragonite is a very big threat, and I really need to get some momentum here, and I cannot allow his Dragonite to set up against me. I mean, I have Ditto, so that's a good thing, but I really got to be careful with this thing, and I just don't want to take any risks here with him going for a fighting type move against my my T-Tar this early in the match. So I'm going to make the play in a Salamence. I don't want to risk my Venusaur just yet, because Venusaur is super important for some of his other Pokemon. And I do know that Nappy tends to take his time with his moves, so I think I'm also going to keep that in mind and really think out my plays as well once we kind of make our second move here. But I have a lot of offensive options for Dragonite, but not that many defensive options, so we'll see what he's going to do here. But either way, I'll get my Intimidate off on him. If he does go for a Dragon type move, then we'll see what's going to happen. But this will lower his attack stat by 1, and he is going to go for the Outrage here on the first turn, which does have a very good chance to knock us out, but we'll see here, and it does just knock us out. So huge play on his part there. Dragonite kills Salamence with Outrage, and that is not good for me by any means. But what I can do now is I can go into my Excadrill, and he is locked into this move. Rock Slide, if you break his multi-scale, Rock Slide does not knock him out at this range, so I really can't do that. But what I can do is I can go to my Godzilla here. I know I can take an Outrage from this thing, and I can get my rocks up. I know I could take an Outrage, so, and I can Stone Edge him here too. If I go for a Stone Edge, I may actually just straight up knock him out. You take the multi-scale off. Take the multi-scale off. There we go. I actually have a chance to knock him out with Stone Edge here, but I really want to get those rocks up, guys. I really do. So I'm going to get my rocks up. That's going to be my plan here. He is going to just simply Outrage again, and we'll see how much this does to us. Looks like it's about a 2-hit KO. Very close. Leading me to believe he's definitely Adamant nature. No, actually, you know what? It could have been a minimum roll. We get our rocks up though. But I do need to save my T-Tar now. I can't risk this again. He is obviously going to take a chance here with his Outrage. So I'm going to go into Asparagus. I think that's my best play. This Dragonite is very scary to me, actually. I could go into Excadrill, but if he switches up his moves here, then I basically lose Excadrill, and I can't risk that. Oh, he is -1 attack, though. That is something to note. You know what? I think Excadrill can come in here and put some offensive pressure on him now. I do think that's an opportunity. Asparagus should be able to live the hit relatively well as well, and I can Leech Seed on the following turn. Let me just see here. Outrage, he is -1, so that is something to note. Oh, he's banded, actually. He is banded. He is banded. I can go into Excadrill then. He's got to be banded because, let me go back to that Tyranitar damage. If he was not choice banded, if he was -1 and his item, I think he's banded, guys. Choice banded Outrage. Yeah, that definitely looks like choice banded damage to me. So if I go into Excadrill and he is, let's just say he's neutral, Outrage does about 50% to Excadrill, so I'm running out of switch-ins here. What about Venusaur switching into a neutral Outrage? It's about 50% too, so same kind of deal. I mean, this thing is going to really just kind of wreck anything I bring in here. I'm going to make the switch into... Excadrill is good because it immediately threatens him out with Rock Slide, but it's very risky. I'm going to go to... oh man, I do think he's banded though, I really do. I'm going to go into Excadrill. I'm going to go into Excadrill. I think he's going to switch. See what he's going to go into here. He goes into Nutcracker, which is what? The Chesnaught. Okay, so here comes the Chesnaught. Now this is tough for me because I am actually unable to beat this thing one-on-one with Excadrill. I do have Aerial Ace, which is very nice, but it's not going to OHKO. It's definitely not going to OHKO. I'll run the calc, but yeah, I don't think it's going to matter. Aerial Ace does about 80% to a max defense variant. I'm going to go into our Asparagus here, get our Mega Evolution off. I should have no problems taking out a Chesnaught with our Mega Venusaur. Definitely the right play. I do believe his Dragonite is choice banded, so that's really good information to note. And we don't have many switch-ins to that, to be honest. We do not have many switch-ins to a choice banded Outrage. Very scary, man. Very scary. Dragonite is a huge threat. Losing Salamence there at the beginning is very unfortunate for us, but perhaps we can kind of bounce back here. I've got my rocks up, which is very useful. I've got a couple Pokemon that will definitely outspeed his Dragonite, which is nice. Excadrill does put in the work on his team. I can't risk a Drain Punch here. I have to go into my Venusaur. So we'll see what his Chesnaught is going to do on this play. I could have went into Ditto as well. That was another option, but I think Asparagus is the proper play here. We'll see what he's going to do. He's going to go for the Drain Punch, so we do see the Drain Punch here. I'm curious to see how much this does. It does very little, so that's fine with me. Now, I am carrying the Hidden Power Flying. Do I wish to reveal that right now? That is the question. Do I want to reveal the Hidden Power Flying right now? What would his switch in be to this guy right now? I'm going to Mega Evolve. What's his switch in? His switch in could be, he's not Empoleon, it's not going to be Dragonite, it's not going to be Titania. It could be the Thundurus, but I think I have a safe opportunity here to go for the Hidden Power Flying. I don't know what he has. He might have something to hit me. He might have spikes. But I'm just going to go to the Hidden Power. And he might also think it's Ice. That's another opportunity. But I know I can live a hit, and I can Sludge Bomb the Thundurus if it comes in. I have a couple different options there. Or I could easily just go into... He's going to stay in here, so I'm going to hit this Hidden Power Flying. I don't know what move he has on this thing to try to hit me. He might have Zen Headbutt or something like that. But I should be able to connect to Hidden Power Flying here. We are actually fast in his Chesnaught, so he's fully defensive, physically defensive most likely. Hidden Power Flying comes off, does not knock him out, brings him to a very low amount of health. He's going to go for the Super Fang. So he's definitely a support Chesnaught set. And you can see just how much that does to us. It does a tremendous amount to us, really, really whittling us down. So I think what I'm going to do here is I know I can knock him out on the following turn. I could easily just knock him out with a Hidden Power Flying. I could also go for a Giga Drain and knock him out here. I believe a Giga Drain will knock him out. I'm going to check that calc there, though. If I go for a Giga Drain, I know he's going to resist, but he's at a very low amount of health here. Yeah, Giga Drain should knock him out, especially based on the Hidden Power Flying damage I got. So I'm going to mix it up here. I'm going to go for that Giga Drain. Just go for the kill, because I could Leech Seed predicting a switch here, which would be a nice play, but realistically, the better play here is just to go for the Giga Drain. Because then I can knock him out. If he goes into Empoleon, that'd be lovely. I'd get so much health back. I don't anticipate that, though. He is going to stay in here. Hopefully this does knock him out, and it looks like it does. So Venusaur is going to pick up its first kill of the season. Venusaur kills Chesnaught with Giga Drain, and that was very nice. So we are going to get rid of that Chesnaught there, and I am a happy dude for that, because the thing was definitely stopping some of my Pokemon from potentially sweeping, specifically the Excadrill. That was one of the biggest threats in the way for Excadrill. Now, actually, Excadrill OHKOs his entire team. Rock Slide beats Thundurus. Rock Slide beats Dragonite after Stealth Rocks. Earthquake beats Empoleon if he's not Shuka. And Iron Head beats Gardevoir at this point. So, while we did lose our Salamence early, which is a huge, huge bummer, we're not in the worst situation ever. So I'm curious to see what he's going to go into next. I hope it's not Dragonite. That's the biggest thing I don't want him to send in here, because, again, I don't have any switch-ins for it. And I'll be faced with a very tough decision of whether I want to lose my Venusaur or whether I want to lose something else. I'll most likely have to lose my Venusaur if Dragonite comes in, though. I can't risk T-Tar at this point. I still need that Sand later. So if Thundurus comes in, I got an easy switch into Ditto, which is very nice. If Mega Gardevoir comes in, I go to Delphox. But if Dragonite comes in, I have no switch-ins. So we have to let Venusaur go down. So that's the struggle. But the good news is I can go into Excadrill. I haven't been counting sand turns, unfortunately, guys. I kind of messed up on that, but Delphox does have Hidden Power Ice, so I can go into Delphox and knock out his Dragonite. So that's a good thing. And here comes Joey Galaxy, which is going to be that Thundurus. So very interesting to see him go to the Thundurus there. That actually allows me to preserve my Asparagus here. I really have no reason not to go into Mystique here. The reasoning being is if he does set up on me, that's fine. I'll have to make some adjustments. I'll have to switch out, make some shenanigans. But I get to find out his entire set here, and I am carrying the Hidden Power Ice on my own Ditto. Or I'm carrying the IVs for Hidden Power Ice, so if he has Hidden Power Flying on his Pokemon, I can easily handle that. And I think Asparagus does still have some utility in this match simply because of the Empoleon. I know I could switch in on that thing and Giga Drain it. So let's go into Mystique here. Let's find out what his Thundurus set is. We are going to transform right into that beautiful Thundurus Therian form. I hope he does not Agility here. That would be unfortunate for me. But he is going to just go for the U-turn. So we see the U-turn on this thing. I'll find out his entire moveset here in a second. I want to see if he's Life Orb or not. I don't see a Life Orb, so I have no idea what his set could be. But I do know I can U-turn out on whatever he brings in, so that's nice. And I'll find out what his Thundurus is here in a second. He cannot go into his Empoleon. He cannot go... he could go into his Dragonite. I could U-turn out. It's going to be tough, though. The Dragonite will be tough to deal with. The Dragonite is just inevitably going to be tough to deal with, but Ditto does give me some opportunities here to really put some pressure on him. I'm curious what he's going to do. I'm very surprised he's not going to Dragonite on the Venusaur because, again, that thing is just very, very good. Very, very good against my team. I've never used Ditto in a match like this. I wonder if when you check Ditto's summary, if it shows the stats for the Pokemon, if I can find out if he's modest or timid or any of that stuff, but I'm not sure. We may find out soon. Man, that Dragonite, dude. Choice Banded Dragonite is no joke. I'm assuming that's what he is simply because of the damage output from before. Here comes Pearl, which is that Dragonite. I hope you have Hidden Power on your Thundurus. Please don't disappoint me. Have Hidden Power on your Thundurus. That would be absolutely wonderful. Oh my goodness. Will he have Hidden Power on his Thundurus? That is a huge deal. Let's find out. Babe, can you take Lily, please? Okay, so let me go into Mystique here. Let me see summary. It does not show me that, but it does show me my moves. Oh, okay, I have to click the actual moves button here. Fight. We do have Hidden Power. We do have Hidden Power, Thunderbolt, T-Bolt, Focus Blast, and U-Turn, so HP. Okay, so here's what I could do. I'm gonna take my time on this move. I just wanna make some double checks here, but this could be huge, man. If I have essentially a Thundurus versus a Dragonite here, let me throw Thundurus. Thundurus Theory, and I don't know if Nappy's gonna expect this HP Ice here against a Dragonite. This could be a really cool play if this works out. HP Ice without the multi-scale should knock him out. I just wanna make sure, yes it does. So I'm gonna go for Hidden Power here, hopefully outspeed. He actually is gonna go for the Extreme Speed here. He's Choice Banded the E-Speed. And we are gonna live on 10, so that's huge. So we're gonna be able to trade this. I don't think we're gonna live after the Sandstorm, but Ditto kills Dragonite with HP Ice, and I'll take that trade, man. I will, and the Sandstorm ends perfectly. I will take that trade, man. I will take that trade. I actually, honestly, forgot about Extreme Speed. Dragonite, I didn't expect that, but I will take that trade because that is actually huge. I'm curious, actually, what the roll was on that. If I have max HP Ditto and Extreme Speed Banded, he's Choice Banded Adamant, I'll assume. Extreme Speed actually, oh, well, my defense stats are gonna be what Thundurus's are, so that's kind of weird. Thundurus, but my HP stat is what, 48, 155? Let me see what that actually should be. I'm curious. Yeah, that did so much. That did so much. Why did that do so much? So it's supposed to do 65 to 78, so I'm a little confused as to why it did so much, but it might have been just a max roll plus Sandstorm damage brought me down. I don't know. Regardless, though, we got rid of that thing, man. We got rid of the Dragonite. That was a huge, huge threat in our way. Huge, huge threat in our way. And now I have this Thundurus sitting right in front of me here, which I can preserve at this point. Now that his Dragonite is gone, that is a huge, huge deal. I do not want him to get his own Stealth Rocks up here, though. That's something I'm a little bit concerned about. But it's okay. And I know his whole moveset now on his Thundurus, which is beautiful. And I will outpace it in the sand because I am a very fast Excadrill. And I know he's not a setup Thundurus. Rock Slide will knock him out. We are going to have to hit the Rock Slide, but that's okay. Delphox actually can pretty much take on that Thundurus pretty well as well, which is nice. I do have the Assault Vest. T-Tar obviously doesn't want it. Here comes Titania. So here comes the Gardevoir. Now, if he goes for a substitute here, that would be annoying, but my switch in here, 1,000,000% is my Delphox. I have nothing to think about here. Delphox is specifically for this this situation here against this Gardevoir, so I could send in Delphox, fire off a Shadow Ball, take the hits effectively, and potentially, you know, knock some things, at least put some pressure on this Gardevoir, because otherwise it's a very, very big threat to my team if I don't do that. One thing I still need to figure out is I don't know what his Empoleon set is. I don't know if he has a Shucka Berry, and that's the biggest thing right now, because if he's Shucka Empoleon and he stops my Excadrill Earthquake, that could entirely ruin this plan here. So we need to be very, very careful with that Empoleon. Some Fire Blast damage will be nice on it. Definitely will be nice on it. If I can get that Fire Blast damage off on it with with Delphox, we'll be okay. So I'm assuming he Hyper Voices here, which is Delphox is going to be able to take pretty well. He could also Shadow Ball. But the nice thing is I can come, if he knocks something out, I can come right back into Ditto and take whatever he's got. And if I get Hyper Voice, man, that's gonna be nuts. Actually, the ideal situation now, he still has the Gallade too, but I'm less concerned about Gallade. The ideal situation here is Ditto takes Thundurus again, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think he's gonna pivot. He's gonna keep pivoting, but I forgot all about that Gallade. But let's see what his Gardevoir is gonna do here. I'm sure he's gonna Mega Evolve. And we'll see what he's going to do. He is going to obviously Mega Evolve his Gardevoir. Very, very good Mega. Very, very strong Mega. I'm assuming a Hyper Voice is coming my way. There comes the Hyper Voice. And it's going to do very, very little to me because I am, again, Assault Vest. So it looks about right. We see the Hyper Voice from the Gardevoir. Now I have a tough decision to make here because I can go for a Fire Blast, which is my strongest hitting move. I think that is what I'm gonna do here. I don't want to. It stinks because I don't want to miss the Fire Blast, but to me, it's worth the extra damage on the Empoleon. So I think the Fire Blast is the proper play here. So that's what we're going for. Fire Blast plus Shadow Ball will knock out the Gardevoir as well, so that, especially after Stealth Rocks. So I'm Fire Blasting here more for the Empoleon switch in though. I don't want to make any predictions thinking the Empoleon's coming in, yada yada. I'm just gonna Fire Blast. Depending on his spread, it's going to do about 30 to 40% on the Empoleon. If he's fully specially defensive, it doesn't really do anything. But if he's a physically defensive Empoleon, it's going to do a lot. It's going to do about half. It could potentially 2 KO. So, Harry is a wizard here, and we need him to control his spells here. Think about all those matches defense against the dark arts classes here, Harry. Think of all those times where you had to bust out your wand and fire off some incendios and all sorts of spells. This is it, Harry. You're not a wizard anymore in Hogwarts, Harry. You are a full-blown Auror, and your job here is to destroy the Dementor that is Titania and whatever else Nappy could possibly send in right now. He's gonna stay in here. We're gonna connect our Fire Blast here. The only thing he could do right now is a Shadow Ball. That would be the hardest thing, and he is gonna go for the Shadow Ball, but again, we are Assault Vest, so I know I could take it, and we are gonna take it without a problem. So now I get to fire off a Shadow Ball myself, and it will knock him out at this range. He is not going to want to switch anything into a... he's probably not going to want to switch anything into a Fire Blast. Shadow Ball would be nice. It also hits the Gallade super effective. So if he does go into the Gallade, Shadow Ball is the better play there. So I believe Shadow Ball will knock him out. I do just want to double check my calcs here on this. But it does look like Shadow Ball should have no problems knocking him out at this range. So that is the proper play here. It'll also hit the Gallade super effective, which is nice. He could have Shadow Sneak on his Gallade if he switches that in, but it's not something I'm going to really worry too much about. But I know I outspeed him. I'm specifically designed to outspeed Thundurus, actually, which I'm starting to think might be a Scarf Thundurus. I didn't see a Life Orb, and he U-turned, so... So if I can get rid of this Gardevoir there, that would be tremendous. That would be wonderful. And again, we're trying to set up this Excadrill sweep right now. That is the focus. The Gallade is a bit of a problem, but let me see what Excadrill does to a standard Gallade. I think Gallade's physical defense is pretty low. It is very low. Earthquake actually OHKOs Gallade, unless he's bulky. So, and bulky Gallade would be kind of weird. So I do have that at my disposal. So I just got to get that sand up here. He's going to switch out. He's going to preserve this thing. Go into Gallade. That would be lovely. Here comes Britannia, which is the Empoleon. So Empoleon does come in. It's going to take some Stealth Rocks damage. It's going to take a Shadow Ball here to the face. And it's not going to do too much to him. I'm kind of in a tough spot here. I think my best play is to just simply Fire Blast and weaken this thing as much as I possibly can. That seems to be my best play here. I hope he does not go for Stealth Rocks, honestly. He might just go for Scald. I don't think he's going to have Aqua Jet. So I'm just going to go for the Fire Blast to try to get as much damage off on him as possible. I don't want to switch out here because if he does go for Stealth Rocks, I essentially lose my Delphox anyway. So it's really not worth it to me. It's really not worth it to me. His best play, in my opinion, is actually to Stealth Rock. And the reason for that is because it knocks out Ditto, and it knocks out Delphox and Entry, which means he gets 2 kills just from getting up his Stealth Rocks. I don't know if he's going to do it, though. And he weakens Venusaur. It's very scary. I'm very worried about the potential Sugar Berry on this Empoleon, which is why I'm Fire Blasting it. I gotta weaken it as much as possible, so that way EQ just destroys it without a problem. I'm pretty sure we beat the Gallade, no problem. Thundurus dies to a Rock Slide. Even if he's Scarfed, we outspeed. Don't have to worry about that. It goes down to a Rock Slide again, so that's fine. So, we'll see what he's gonna do here. I hope he just goes for Scalds. That would be the best play, is he just Scalds us. I think what I'll do, we are gonna go for the Fire Blast. We are gonna connect. Beautiful. I believe he's specially defensive, but that's okay. We are gonna bring him down to a pretty low rage. He's actually gonna go for the Defog here. Very interesting that he goes to the Defog. That actually works out fine for me because as much as I wanted to have my rocks up, at this point I'm less concerned about the rocks. And I could just fire off another Fire Blast here and potentially knock out this Empoleon. So I'll take that any day of the week. Defog's fine with me. I know he's trying to preserve his Thundurus, but at this point, Thundurus is pretty low. And his Empoleon is now very low. So that was a very interesting play. Nothing on his team wants to take this Fire Blast now. So I think he probably should have gotten that Empoleon in a little bit earlier to Defog, but I know he just didn't really have the opportunity to. Venusaur was in. He couldn't go in against the Ditto transformed to Thundurus, etc. So Delphox picking up a kill. Look at Harry. Delphox kills Empoleon with Fire Blast. Very nice. Now, so that's gone. Okay, so I still have to worry about Gardevoir. I still have to worry about Thundurus, obviously, which will outspeed me. If he goes into Thundurus here, I think I just... actually, you know what I could do? I think if he goes into Thundurus, I just go into Ditto. Because if he knocks out Ditto, that's fine. Trying to think of whether Ditto is more valuable to me or not. But either way, once I get the sand up, I don't know if he has an answer for Excadrill anymore. I just don't. I don't know. He could have a berry on his Thundurus, though. I have to be very careful about these berries, man. Berries always mess you up. But Delphox has a lot of usefulness still, I think. Especially without rocks. I'm a little worried about the Gallade. I don't know what he could do to us. Could have Zen Headbutt, things like that, but again, once I get my T-Tar in, I get my Sandstream up, that's gonna be pretty good, and we could put the pressure on him. I just want to be very cautious about how I go about this, because I really need to make sure T-Tar comes in, gets the sand up, 8 turns, Excadrill comes in and does the rest. That's the plan. His Gardevoir is very weakened, his Thundurus is about probably like 75%, I think it only came in once, so 75% plus Sandstorm. Gallade's at full though. So if he had Scarf Gallade, I guess that could be a problem. Venusaur is definitely, I think, my next sack. Here comes Excalibur, which is that Gallade. Okay, so this is tough. I do not want to allow this Gallade to set up on me. I mean, that's one of my biggest concerns. I do have Ditto still. Maybe it's not as big of a concern. Venusaur is my least useful member. It dies to Gardevoir. It dies to Thundurus. So Venusaur is not that great at this point in time, whereas Delphox still is useful because it outspeeds the Gardevoir. I could also just simply go for a Shadow Ball here and really hurt this thing, really weaken it. And just say, okay, you know what, Harry, you did your job. Mystique outspeeds Gardevoir anyway. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to stay in. I'm going to Shadow Ball. I want to see if he's got Shadow Sneak or not. I'll just go for the Shadow Ball, get as much damage off on this thing as I can. That way, if he tries to set up on me, I just get to fire off 2 Shadow Balls and we'll actually knock him out. So I might be able to kind of get some intel whether he's Scarfed. I could kind of figure that out right now. So... And then I just go into T-Tar. That's really what's going to happen next. I'm gonna go into T-Tar, and then Excadrill comes out, and that's what we gotta do. That's the plays. So, this is if he has something to stop Excadrill, like a berry to stop the Rock Slide or something like that on the Thundurus, then he does. You know, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. But that's another thing too. For his Thundurus to beat my T-Tar, he's gotta actually hit a Focus Blast. So he's gonna Ice Punch us. So we know he's Choice Scarfed. Very interesting. Now we know his Gallade is Choice Scarfed. Awesome. This gives me a great opportunity to go into my Tyranitar now. As I'd imagine, we shouldn't have any problems taking on an Ice Punch here. What health am I at? I'm about a 101. If he's Ice Punch, I'm pretty bulky. Does about 20% to us, so I am gonna go into Godzilla here. Our big beast that is Tyranitar. And one thing I do want to check really quickly is Thundurus, Therian form. The only thing that would stop me on Thundurus is if he has that berry. I think I have to go for the Stealth Rocks here. I think I have to. Simply because of that Thundurus and the berry. I have to go for Stealth Rocks. Because Sandrush Drill comes in here and just wins at this point. So I'm going to go for Stealth Rocks because of the Thundurus. I'm just worried that I know it's crazy, and I understand the likelihood that he has that berry is so slim, but to me, it's just not worth the risk. Because if I weaken that Thundurus down another 50%, then we're in a much better situation. So my play here is go for Stealth Rocks. I'm gonna let this guy go down. I'm gonna let my man T-Tar go down at this point. Not too concerned. I can also have Ditto take on his Gardevoir at some point too. I'm at 6 health, so the Sandstorm might knock out Ditto. So I gotta be careful with that. But either way, yeah, I think the rocks are the play here. Get that extra 25% on Thundurus. It's just, to me, it's the right play. So. Because then, like I said, Excadrill comes in and he just clicks Earthquake. He clicks Earthquake, he clicks Rock Slide. You know, he's not going to be able to stall out the sand turns at this point. Now that I know this Gallade is Scarfed, Excadrill does outspeed in the sand, so I don't have to worry too much about that. His Gardevoir is Mega Evolved, so he doesn't have Trace anymore. He's Pixelate only. The only bad situation that would happen is if he gets his Gardevoir in and sets up a substitute on us. But I will not allow that to happen. If Gardevoir comes in, I just click Earthquake. We just gotta attack the Gardevoir until it goes away. He's gonna Ice Punch us here. So this is gonna be 1 turn of sand. We live that no problem. We get our rocks up, that's beautiful. So I think that's 1 full turn of sand is how that works. He's gonna take some damage there, so that's awesome. Now I get to just, I have a couple options here. Tyranitar hitting this thing, I can go for a Stone Edge, which is resisted. Earthquake does do the most damage here. And I should have plenty of turns for Excadrill, so I'm gonna click Earthquake and do as much as I can. If he knocks me out with Ice Punch, that's fine. I actually wouldn't even mind if he knocked me out. But we have 8 turns of sand total, so we should be okay. We should be okay. He's gonna Ice Punch again. I believe we will live this unless he gets a max roll. We do live. We're gonna fire off an Earthquake here. So it's gonna be 2 turns of sand, I believe. And you're gonna see that do about half. And he'll take some more Sandstorm damage. And we are pretty much now in a decent spot here. I'm simply going to... Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Do I just let this guy go down? Or do I let Mystique go down? No, I'm gonna let Godzilla go down. I'm gonna go for the Earthquake here. I'll let him knock me out. And then my man Excadrill comes in. And we should be in good shape. I just gotta click Iron Head or whatever I decide, I guess. He's gonna Ice Punch us and knock us out. So that's fine with me. Gallade kills T-Tar with Ice Punch. That's not a big deal. You can see he's gonna take Sandstorm damage again, so that is 3 turns of sand, so we should have plenty of sand turns left. Here comes Excadrill. My play here is to Iron Head, simply because if he were to go into his Thundurus, it'll actually hit the Thundurus. If I Earthquake and he goes into Thundurus, I don't hit it at all, so I know Iron Head will knock him out, so I am gonna just go for the Iron Head here. It is going to connect, obviously, and Gallade is gonna die, so Excadrill kills Gallade with Iron Head. Okay, that's 4 turns of sand. There you go. Now, Excadrill versus Thundurus. All right. Rock Slide is my play. Actually, once the sand goes down, I mean, Ditto can come in too and still put in some work if it needs to. I believe Gardevoir is at a range of health where an HP Ice from a Thundurus would be good. If things don't go right here. But we should have no problems outspeeding him. I hit 139 speed, so Choice Scarf, max speed. I'm just going to double check this, I'd imagine. I should have checked it before, but 168 times 1.5. So max speed hits 252 on Thundurus, which is his next Pokemon. He is going to bring out the Thundurus. So he hits max 252 speed. I am at 139. And I hit a max of 278, so I 1,000,000% outspeed here. I'm going to go for the Rock Slide. I connect the Rock Slide. This should, no berry. This should knock him out without a problem. And it does indeed. I'll take that. So Excadrill is going to pick up that kill. Kills Thundurus with Rock Slide, and I believe his last Pokemon is that Gardevoir, which will not be able to take an Iron Head no matter what. We still have our Sand up here. We are going to outspeed him 1,000,000% of the time. We have no concerns here. I simply click Iron Head, and that is going to be the game. Whew, that was intense, man. A very, very interesting start here to the first week of the UCL. I'm very glad we were able to pick up a nice 3-0 victory over the KingNappy and the Tucson Terrakions. Very, very good opponent, guys. He brought a really good team. That first turn had me so nervous losing my Salamence, but I knew that if I stuck to my game plan of getting the Sand up late game, weakening and scouting his team, and letting Excadrill do the rest, we'd be in good shape, and that is how that happened. I'm very, very happy about the win. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Please go watch KingNappy's perspective as well. I most certainly will be, and thank you guys for supporting the St. Louis Rampardos. I'm glad to be back, man. Don't forget to pick up your t-shirts and get excited for our next match. We're going to be taking on Joey and the Bronx Bear Ticks when I get back from my honeymoon, so that'll be a lot of fun. But that's going to be it for me, guys. My name is Dan. Also by aDrive. I'm the coach of your St. Louis Rampardos, and I'm going to catch you guys later. Peace.